Hello, investors and traders, and welcome to this week's market report. Before we get into the charts, let's take a look at what's happening in Beijing. History is being made right now as I speak, where Donald Trump and his entourage of delegates and CEOs are meeting with the Chinese leaders. And it's actually been recorded where Xi Jinping, in his own words, has said we should be partners, not rivals. Now, you have to understand that Donald Trump is coming into this summit with incredible leverage. We have full control of the Venezuelan oil. We have the Strait basically under control. Iran is shut down. Even the Strait of Hormuz, it's being reported by Bloomberg that Karg Island, the jetties there, are completely empty, which means their number one source of revenue has been shut down. So basically, Iran is withering on the vine. And Xi has also mentioned that he would help with Iran. That's pretty incredible. Never before has anything like this happened. So as a result, the markets are reacting in a volatile way. Now, I can't say all markets, because if you take a look at DIA, we're still bumping our heads up here against resistance. So I cannot at this point put any upside targets, nor are we taking any long positions in the general market ETFs. Now, we do have long positions. The overwhelming number of our positions in percentages are still bullish, but we're spreading our trades, we're spreading the risk, we're hedging ourselves by collecting premium in the market. Now, if you're not sure how to trade options, come on over. We'll teach you how to do that. But in the meantime, we're still playing it safe, because you have to understand that what's happening here with the amount of money that's coming into this deal with China is unprecedented. You have to understand that there's 18 CEOs and business leaders that have joined Trump and his team. And according to Grok, I had to look this up to make sure I was stating this correctly, just under $16.5 trillion of market cap is in Beijing right now. So Xi Jinping really does not have any leverage at this point, nor do we want to press too hard, because they could say, you know what, deal, no deal. We're going to go into Taiwan. Now you're going to have 3 wars to worry about, and forget trying to bring peace between Russia and Ukraine. There's a lot on the line right here now, and we as investors and traders have to keep a close eye on this. So you cannot forecast what's happening or what's about to happen over the course of this weekend. In fact, in his speech, Xi mentioned that he wants to help make America great again. Can you imagine that? Could you imagine Xi Jinping, the leader of China, putting on a red hat and telling the world that he's behind Trump all the way? I can imagine that heads are exploding right now as this is happening, but a lot is being accomplished. And anything could happen in this market, so you have to be very, very careful. Now, moving away from the geopolitical news and looking more at the economic news, today, core retail sales came out as expected. However, unemployment claims completely surpassed the estimates. This is very interesting, because while the economy is looking very healthy according to the experts, unemployment numbers tend to lead us more in the line of a possible recession. Now, for as long as oil is still raging higher, you can see here crude is still over $100 a barrel right now. So this is going to put some pressure on the global economies and possibly force them into a recession, and the dominoes could start coming down. So we have to be very careful of the positions that we take. And so I'm going to keep my downside target on DIA right here at 489.12. IWM, I mean, we're talking about the small caps here, so this isn't really a big deal for a lot of the folks, because this isn't going to be a leading indicator for the general markets. But we are seeing bearish signals here in the form of a hanging man. Here's a hanging man, hanging man. You got 3 hanging man candles that follow a shooting star right here and a bearish engulfing candle. So I'm following the charts and doing my very best to keep my opinion out of the analysis, but it's hard to ignore what's happening on the geopolitical front, and you absolutely cannot ignore what's happening with the economic numbers still showing strong signs of inflation. I'll get to the precious metals in a moment and how we could hedge ourselves against that inflation. But going back to IWM, I still have my downside target right there at 274. Now this is where it starts to get interesting when you're looking at the Qs. And you see here, we still have upward candles, higher lows, higher highs. But look at that volume. Now I'm recording this past the halfway mark of today's trading session, and we're not even at the halfway mark for the volume as compared to yesterday. With that said, the CCI is still pivoting lower. Now again, all opinion aside, what does that tell you with the CCI? It tells us that the upside momentum is waning. Now, of course, any news over the weekend could jolt this market up or down. We just don't know. I'm leaning more along the lines of, okay, there's going to be some great trade deals made. There's going to be peace made with China. They're going to be our buddies now. They're going to all be wearing the MAGA hats. And then all of a sudden, what happens? Inflation doesn't go down, oil doesn't go down, Iran remains stubborn, and we're getting closer and closer to the midterm elections. Well, at that point, the White House is going to have to make some moves. Otherwise, he could lose a lot of his base, and the GOP will suffer as a result of losing seats in the House. And that's obviously the big battle, because if the Democrats do take control of the House, you absolutely know the impeachment process is going to get kicked into high gear. There's no doubt about that, and that's just going to disrupt the markets even more, especially with the accomplishments that Donald Trump is making through his philosophy of peace through strength. And that's an absolute certainty. No doubt Donald Trump has a pretty healthy ego, to say the least, but it's in his strength and in his ability to flex his political muscle that's getting the results. Now, going back to what we're talking about here with regard to the entourage and the CEOs that are accompanying Trump in this summit, the CEOs and business leaders will get things done much faster than the politicians will through diplomatic relations. There's no doubt. There's not going to be any committees here. There's not going to be any polls taken to see what the general public has to say. CEOs will immediately make decisions, and money starts moving in or out of markets. It's really that simple, and Donald Trump knows that, because deep down he is a businessman first, politician second, and of course a leader of the free world at this point, leading our country, I believe, in a much better direction. Now, for those of you who don't align with my politics, that's absolutely okay. In fact, I think it's very healthy to have a difference of opinion so we keep open debate. And if we have too much right or too much left, we lose that ability to debate honestly, and then things start to go astray. So for my Democratic friends out there, please understand, you need to get involved with your political party to make sure we have a good, strong, and sensible, and I would even say reasonable opposition to the GOP. Otherwise, you know what happens when money starts building in people's bank accounts. The corruption begins, and it doesn't matter if you're left-leaning, right-leaning, corruption is going to take a hold if you don't have that political debate and the ability for the people to speak through the ballot box. Now, again, getting back to the market, I'm still keeping that downside target, although I'm losing some confidence in this downside target of 677.41, but I am going to keep it there, and we'll see what happens tomorrow and throughout the rest of next week, because we're still in May. I don't know if the sell in May crowd is still going to be around after the summit. We'll have to see. But moving right along to SPY, you can see that we do have, again, another drop in volume. We have this long stretch of green, and we have negative divergences on the CCI down here. Now, we are on record highs here. I think we could go a little bit higher, but I'm not going to take a chance at this point to put a long-term, much higher upside target Although I do think we could go a little bit higher and then start to turn down. So that's really going to be meaningless because, again, we're not taking any long positions. I'll go as high as 755 on this one, and then we'll have to see if we get a continued drop in volume or maybe some red candles showing up down here. Now, the reason I'm still hesitating to go much higher is because I was talking about the VIX on the midweek report, and we still have an open gap down here. Can you see that? The open gap on the VIX below the market is telling me the VIX still wants to drop a little bit more. Now remember, a bearish VIX is going to be more bullish for the S&P. So until that downside gap fills, I have to believe that we're still going to see some upside movement in the S&P. So keep that in mind, you option traders, especially when you decide to start putting on some put spreads, whether it be an SPY or QQQ. You got to wait for the pivots, wait for the volume to increase on the way down. Then you could start thinking about putting on some puts. Now, I did mention I was going to talk about gold and silver. For those who are following me on X, you may have already caught my report from yesterday where I said on the shooting star I was selling out of another 5% of my position. That I did. I am now at a level of cash that I have not had in many years. I'm feeling more like Warren Buffett, although my bank account doesn't reflect the same as Mr. Buffett's account, obviously. But my average exit price now is $26.54 with the sale that I put in yesterday on that shooting star. And I go into PSLV, you can see as a result of yesterday's shooting star, we do have a hard pivot to the downside. I have a short-term target on PSLV of $26, and then I have another intermediate term target down here at 24. So my buy zone is going to be anywhere in this area below my exit price here. Obviously, my goal is to parlay the position in order to make it bigger with my long-term target on silver. The underlying silver market is going to be anywhere between $150 and $200. So I don't particularly like being out of 45% of my position. However, I'm in a very comfortable place right now because if it does go higher, I still make money. If it comes down, I get to buy more at a cheaper price and make the position bigger. That's what parlaying the position is all about. Speaking of precious metals, GDXJ, which is the Vanek Jr. gold miners, you can see that it's pulled back. I had a target up here, came very close to filling at 132. It got up there around 130, 136. So 64 cents off my target. I'm not really worried about that at all. I think eventually that will hit. But you can see a lot of times when my targets hit, after the targets hit, the prices tend to reverse. Now, if you're interested in getting into the gold miners, there's a lot of different ticker symbols. You got Barrick, you got Majestic Silver, you could play the ETFs. But looking at this, technically, it looks like it could go a little bit lower. We have a gap below the market down here, right around 115 to 116, and the oscillators are making hard pivots to the downside. So I'm just doing this as a FYI for some of the traders out there that are looking for good ETFs to position, and especially the option traders. And the other thing about this, if I step back and look at the weekly, you could see that it's forming a triangle pattern right here. You see this? Here's your triangle. So it's starting to pinch into the apex of this triangle. We'll see whether or not it breaks to the downside or possibly breaks to the upside from here. We'll have to see. But for an option trader, this is very nice because they do have very efficient option chains here, and you could trade all kinds of spreads if you like. Now, again, if you're interested in learning about option trading, what I did on my webinar last night with our members is I'm doing special spree sessions. These are sticky trade position review or sticky trade position repair sessions that I hold on Zoom. Now, I'm not ready to open up those trial sessions to the general public because that's reserved for members. However, we are and have been offering the 15-day trial to our services. And we give you our word that we will not try to pressure you, sell you, take your credit card from you. We don't do any of that. We want to prove ourselves to the public and build trust. And the only way you can do that is by building a good, strong relationship where we show you our value that we can provide for you. And so come on over and learn, at least for a 2-week period. You can go back and listen to as many videos as you want. Go to the education site. We have Sticky Trade University. You can go in there, and then you can even ask us questions during some of the live webinars. So with that, I'm going to leave you alone. We have the rest of the trading day today and all day tomorrow. So have a good weekend after that. We'll talk to you next time. So long.
In a world of endless data, where every second counts, introducing Nod Live, your professional compass in the chaos of the stock market. Nod Live cuts through the noise. Stay ahead with Nod Live.